David Goggins, Jocko Willink, all of these disciplined self-help gurus, I don't agree with. A lot of times, people will treat that in the context of fitness, especially a lot of trainers. A lot of trainers will say, "Oh, you have to be so disciplined. You got to embrace the suck. You got to stay hard. You got to embrace the shit you don't like." Oh, discipline is finding something you hate and doing it like you love it. Muhammad Ali, I hated every second of training. Look, if you're somebody that struggles with discipline, I've never found it helpful to tell somebody to just be disciplined. Okay, just do it anyway. Just do it anyway, it doesn't matter. Right? For some people that they just are not doing anything, maybe that can be a helpful message, but what's more helpful and impactful that I find is more than telling somebody they have to just be disciplined and trying to make them do things they intrinsically don't like to do and have struggled with for a long time, a more helpful strategy, a more helpful solution to this is to reduce the friction to everything they have to do. Make it as easy as possible first. Make it what is the couple things? Like make it so easy, make it so simple, and then, and only then, once there's nothing else we can do to simplify, make it easier, make it more simple, make it more easy, at that point, well then it does come down to discipline. But in the context of fitness, with fat loss, if we look at all the things that make it hard for people to be in shape, that cause people not to be in shape, well, if you look at the first kind of piece of it, well, you have to hit the gym. Well, most people are going to say, "Oh, hit the gym 5 days a week, train crazy good, be disciplined." Most trainers will take photos of them at the gym, take photos of them doing their cardio. They made their life career fitness, okay? So them saying they're so disciplined, they love that shit. Bodybuilders, they love that shit. They love the diet. They it's like almost reaffirming, "Oh, I'm so disciplined." But in reality, it's not discipline because they like it. So for somebody who struggles, what's a more effective strategy when it comes to fitness is, example, for training, instead of telling somebody they have to go to the gym 5 days a week, they have to do deadlifts and squats and powerlifting and all this stuff, it's like, hey, let's just go in the gym, 2 days a week for 30 minutes for the rest of your life is better than no days a week for the rest of your life. So let's go in the gym 2 days a week, let's go 30 minutes, let's just use the machines. That's going to be more effective for that person. And then, let's go to the gym 2 days a week for 30 minutes and let's hit the steps. Let's hit some steps. Let's get some blood flowing. Let's get some blood moving and just get started, okay? That's your training program. 2 days a week, hit some steps. Okay, nutritionally, well, okay, 6-4, okay, what's the best science-based, 4 meals a day, chicken, broccoli, and rice, okay, eat whole foods, discipline, okay, maybe if we look at the reason people are not eating healthy, it's not because they're not disciplined. It's because they don't live a fitness lifestyle, all right? And how can we make fitness work into their lifestyle? First method, hit the gym. The only thing you have to go do is 2 days a week, 30 minutes, okay? Just get some resistance training in. If you can't go to the gym, do body weight. Okay, boom, that's solved. Steps, you can do steps in your daily life. You're going on a walk, you can take calls, you can work that when you're traveling, it works inside your life. After that, how can we make nutrition simple? How can we make nutrition easy? How can we make nutrition fit into the lives of people who are struggling? And most of the time this is, moms, dads, corporate, like people who actually have shit to do. So how can we make nutrition work? Well, the best way that I've found is just do some version of intermittent fasting. So, okay, if we just skip breakfast, and then at lunch, typically lunch is something they control. Dinner, client dinners, family dinners usually where it just blows up, and trying to get them to do 4 small meals, eat throughout the day, and then be hungry at night, and then skip dinner, and then they go over their calories, doesn't work, right? Because they go out to business dinner, they have dinner with their family, they go on vacation, and if they're in that mindset of 4 meals a day, you have to be perfect, well, then they're not perfect and they just say to hell with it. So what I found to be more beneficial is look at their day. Dinner is usually where a lot of those calories are going to be, and they're going to eat dinner every night. Not a lot of people want a big breakfast and don't eat at dinner. So I flip it on its head. Okay, so let's put our calories where they're already concentrated. Dinner. In the evenings when you're at client dinners, business dinners, vacations with your family. Let's get most of our calories in at dinner. Let's skip the breakfast, because most of the times that's the easiest meal to skip. Breakfast is the easy meal to skip. You can do coffee, you can do water, you can get your day moving, you can save that time. If you're an entrepreneur, you can get to work earlier. And then, make lunch light, high protein, maybe a Greek yogurt bowl, maybe it's a Chipotle, like a lighter version of Chipotle, just meat, beans, a little bit of vegetables, something light, Okay, something light, high protein to hold us off until dinner, and then at dinner, still go high protein again, but make it a larger, more filling meal, and then leave room every single night after dinner, because we have those calories saved up from no breakfast and a lighter lunch. Put some of those calories after dinner. You can have a drink or two. You can have a little piece of dessert. You can have something that you want. You can have something sweet. You can cheat a little bit. And this method, whether you're trying to gain muscle, trying to lose fat, whether you're trying to be just generally healthier, or you feel like most of the fitness stuff out there is confusing to you and it gets really complex, this system works. Whether you're traveling, whether work's busy, whether you have kids or a family, it's like every night you can have dinner with your family, every night you can go out to eat, every night you can go on vacation, you can do this, you can hit your steps, go to the gym 2 days a week, and you can not worry about it, right? And when it comes to the macros, it's like, set your calorie targets, try to do maybe 20, 30% of your calories at lunch, nothing for breakfast, 50% of your calories at dinner, and then 20 to 30% of your calories after dinner, maybe like an hour or two after dinner, have a little bit of something you enjoy, right? And this method doesn't restrict anything, doesn't make anything off limits, and if you just kind of structure your day like this, and you structure your fitness like this, it is more in that mindset of like, okay, well, this makes it pretty easy, to be honest with you. And I don't think most people that are in shape lack discipline. I think they lack a structure that they actually can stick with long term, right? If they lived in a box and they didn't have life, then most people could probably be in shape. If they never went out, they never went to the bar, they didn't have kids, like most people would be in shape. But the reason they're not in shape is because they just look at all the stuff that people say to do fitness-wise, and it feels confusing, and they just feel like, I'm not willing to make that trade of never having anything I enjoy. So I think, as opposed to, trying to fix your discipline, I would say fix your environment until there's nothing left to do but just the 2 or 3 things that you need to do to get in shape. And I found that to serve people a lot better and make people feel a lot better about their fitness than, telling them that you just embrace the fact that this shit sucks. And to be honest, most people that are in shape for a long time, they don't hate it, right? They just have found this little system that works for them, and they're able to integrate it in their lifestyle, and it's probably not as complex as many gurus out there will make it seem, and the people that are pretty extreme, they're popular, and you see that stuff because their extremity makes their stuff viral. So I would recommend to you, for 99% of people who are just 9 to 5, dads, moms, who are in shape long term, they've basically just made it really simple and easy, because it shouldn't have to be something that adds friction. You should have to be thinking about it all day. It should just be something that happens organically, and you can do that by making your environment, like, literally just make it super simple. And hopefully this video can give you a little bit more context, and hopefully some of my other videos can provide you some context of just like, you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be all this discipline stuff. It can really be a simple, easy process. And that's kind of why I try to make these videos, at least, and help people with this, because fitness is something that I've seen a lot of people struggle with. It's something I've struggled with throughout my life. I've always kind of been in shape, but there's been periods, right, where I've had to really learn how to make it something I can stick with, especially as an adult, especially as somebody, working, being an adult as opposed to an athlete. And hopefully this can be valuable for you. So if you're somebody that's kind of struggling here and you would maybe like some help with this, feel free to click the link below, and you can work with me one-on-one, and I will help you lose 30, 50 pounds and 6 to 10 inches off your waist in the next 180 days, or I'll keep coaching you for free until you do. Have a great day, and hopefully this was valuable. Let's go.